So when you sit down with a financial advisor, there's always this big question hanging in the air, right? Are they a trusted guide who's got your back for the long haul, or are they just a salesperson trying to make a deal today? It's a really critical distinction, and we're about to unpack exactly what it means for you and your money.
And really, this is the question that everything else hinges on. For a long time, that line was super blurry. It was all driven by commissions and sales targets. But things are changing. Clients are demanding more, there are new standards of care, and the whole industry is shifting. And look, knowing the difference here, that's what separates a plan that's actually built for you from a plan that's just, well, lining your advisor's pockets.
Okay, so let's break this down. Here's the difference in a nutshell. The old way, the product-driven way, was pretty simple. You walked in, you asked for a thing, and they sold you the thing. It was a transaction, pure and simple. But the new model, it's completely client-driven. It doesn't start with a product, it starts with your life. It's not about a one-off sale, it's all about building a real, ongoing relationship.
So this all sounds good, right? A client-first model, but what does that actually look like when the rubber meets the road? Let's get into what the new standard is and what you should really be demanding from any advisor you work with.
All right, let's play this out with a real-life example. Life happens, things change. It can be exciting, maybe a little bit terrifying, and it almost always has a financial side to it. So let's say you just had a baby. Your entire world just got flipped upside down. How does your advisor respond to that?
Well, the old-school reactive advisor, they're basically just going to wait. They'll sit back and wait for you to call them, for you to bring it up, for you to ask the right questions. But a truly proactive client-first advisor, oh, they're already dialing your number. They're thinking ahead for you, anticipating your new needs. You know, like saving for college, or maybe getting more life insurance. And they're calling you with ideas. They're looking around the corner for you.
And that right there, that's what real financial advising is supposed to be. It's a whole process. It's not about just pushing some hot new investment. It's about getting a deep understanding of your entire financial world, your income, your debts, your lifestyle, everything. And then building a strategy from the ground up that's tailored to help you hit your specific goals.
You know, this whole thing isn't just a nice idea. It's actually built on a really strong ethical foundation. Just look at that second one, objectivity. This means they have a duty to recommend what's best for you, not what pays them the biggest commission. Think about that for a second. That one rule, it changes everything. It's the absolute bedrock of a trustworthy relationship.
So, okay, if it's not a sales pitch, then what is it? Well, think of it like a roadmap. A really good advisor is going to guide you through a clear, logical process. It's designed to build your financial plan from scratch, and it all starts with you.
And here it is. This is the roadmap a great advisor will walk you through. There are 6 key steps. Notice how it all starts with just establishing the relationship and gathering your data. No one's talking about products yet. From there, you move into analysis, then recommendations, then putting the plan into action, and finally checking in regularly to make sure you're staying on track. It's a deliberate, thoughtful journey, not some rushed sale.
I want to zoom in on step 2 for a second, collecting your data, because honestly, this is where the magic really happens. A great advisor collects 2 kinds of information. On one side, you have the quantitative stuff, the hard numbers, right? Your income, your assets. But just as important, if not more so, is the qualitative, the human stuff. Your goals, how you feel about risk, your attitude about money. The numbers by themselves are kind of useless without understanding the person behind them.
All right, let's talk goals for a minute. So many of us start with something that sounds like this. I just want to retire comfortably. I mean, it sounds good. Who doesn't want that? But what does it actually mean? It's vague, you can't measure it, and you definitely can't build a real plan around a feeling. But see, a great advisor's job is to help you take that fuzzy feeling and turn it into something real, something tangible and specific, like this. Now this is a goal. It's measurable, it has a timeline, it's got a number. Now you've got a real target to aim for. You can actually work backwards and figure out exactly what it takes to get there. Now that is an actionable goal.
And this leads to an absolutely critical point, something you should never, ever forget. No matter how good the advice is, you are always in the driver's seat. A good advisor will lay out the map. They'll show you the different routes you can take. But you, the client, are the one who decides which road to go down. It's your money, your decision, period.
Okay, so now we know what to look for, right? We know what a great client-driven advisor is supposed to do. But how do you actually find one? How do you spot that true guide in a sea of people who might just be salespeople?
Well, here's your cheat sheet, your checklist for spotting a great advisor in the wild. They're going to ask about your life and your goals long before they even whisper the name of a product. They'll walk you through a clear process, just like the one we saw. They'll help you define real, measurable goals, and they'll check in with you when life happens. And they'll constantly remind you that you're in charge, all while following a strict code of ethics. If you're seeing these signs, you've probably found a winner.
So, in the end, it all comes down to this one last question you need to ask yourself. When you step back and look at your own financial situation, what's really at the center of it all? Is it just a random collection of products that you've been sold over the years? Or is it a smart, cohesive strategy that was built from day one to support the life you actually want to live? The answer to that question, well, it tells you everything you need to know.